Turn me up. Turn me up. Tap in, people. What's going on? This is the Ghost of Highbury. I'm your host, Anton Keith. What's going on? It is time to talk about Arsenal. That's what we do here. Do me a favor, if you're not subscribed yet. I don't have many subscribers because the show's only like a week and a half old. So do me a favor. If you like this sort of content, if you love Arsenal, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Please drop a like and let's keep this thing moving and join the ghosts and tap in with me. Hope you got your coffee, your tea, your water, your wine tonight. I finished off the wine. I had a little sip of wine with dinner. Now I'm on the water for the rest of the night, as long as I got you guys. How is everybody doing after a long day of work? It's only 4 hours towards the weekend. And then it's me, it's you, and it's the Gunners. We're going to play Norwich. We're going to dust them off. I'm telling you. I'm calling it now. We're dusting them off. Hopefully, it's as easy. Hold on, let me adjust this a little bit. Hopefully, it's as easy as I want it to be. If not, we're still winning. Happy. I see you in the chat. I see you watching. Hope I'm getting your name right. Tap in. Let me know where you watching from. I'd love to know. Hope your day's been good. Not much Arsenal news, but we are gonna chop up the press conference because I heard a lot of people talking about it today. And one thing that I think that us US fans have an advantage over our brothers and sisters across the pond is that we have some time, if we want to talk about some things, to let it marinate a little bit. I know sometimes they're getting news and they're putting out their streams and their podcast and this and that as it's coming out, and it's very reactionary. And I don't have an issue with that. I got no problems with that. But with us over here, we get things later in the day, and we're working, and we don't really have time to kind of focus on it. We just kind of, that didn't sound right. Okay. Lady's here. And then later on, like around 9, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, you got some dinner, you had a nice drink. Then you can kind of like reflect on what's really being said. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. Let me know where you're from. Okay. Let me know where you're tapping in from. Thank you so much to the people that have subscribed. Lots of people are watching the streams after they stream. Don't know why. Maybe just people are just checking me out because of the algorithm or whatever. So please, if you've left me a like, please continue to do so. Please, let's grow this channel. Please join the ghosts. Okay. If you want to see Arsenal return to its former glory, okay, because we in a low right now. Not everybody stays high forever, right? But we don't want to stay low forever. So anybody who wants to see Arsenal come back to the top and competing every single year for every major honor, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, tap in, and let's keep this thing moving. Hope everybody's good. I know a lot of people are watching American football. If you are in the US, you are watching American football. It is the debut of the season for the NFL. I don't have my trusty dry erase board over there right now. Actually, I don't have anything up. Let me throw my banners up. What am I doing here? I need to let me get my stuff up. There we go. So we rocking and rolling. So I don't have my thing up right here because last time when we were watching the USA game, I had a little bit of a reflection, and I didn't want any issues. I ain't been on here long enough to get banned. Okay. And so, so my TV's over here. My TV's over here, and it kind of reflects against this wall back here. And so it was showing a little bit of the game. So I don't want any issues. So I got the game on right now. Buccaneers Cowboys. I believe it's 7-7. I don't really have any skin in the game. Quick story. So I am a hardcore Detroit Lions fan. I'm from Detroit right now, but I'm from Detroit, but for the past, let's say, since about 2002, I've been living in Virginia. And so, so I'm a hardcore Lions fan, but that club let me down. It let me down. I mean, two of my favorite players, Bernie Sanders, get out of here. Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, the club basically forced them to retire because of mismanagement and just not doing what they really needed to do. Just a lot of things that I see with Arsenal, actually, just bad management decisions. And those guys said, you know what? I'm not beating up my body for this organization, and I don't want to play anywhere else because I love the city. So I'm retiring. And so I saw two of my kind of sports heroes retire early. And when I saw Calvin Johnson retire, you know what? I said no. Right. And I was kind of probably 80% Detroit Lions, 20% Arsenal. And at that moment, when I decided to give up the NFL, that's when I became 100% Arsenal, and I've never looked back. They've made some moves this year. They finally got rid of a quarterback that I don't really care for. And maybe they'll do some things, so I might check it out, but I'm not going above and beyond on Sundays. I'm not ordering any special, cable packages. I'm not doing any of that. And so if there's a big Premier League match, I'd probably watch that before I watch the Lions game. But if it's on and it crosses my eyes, I'll take a look and see how they're doing. I can't be one of these bandwagon guys that'll, I like the things that the Chiefs do. Of course, who doesn't love Tom Brady? But I'm not going to jump teams. That's just not my thing. So if Arsenal goes down, I'm going down with them. If the Detroit Lions went down, I went down with them. And so I can't, I'm not a team jumper. So that's a quick story on how, I kind of went 100% Arsenal. And so, so the game is on. Both teams look pretty good. I'll take a peek every now and then, but I only plan on staying on for about an hour. Probably once the community grows, I'll have a little bit out. Once I get more engagement, I'll probably stay on a little bit longer. But for now, I'd rather give you consistency, 4 or 5 solid days a week of streaming. And, but I'll cut the time a little short just because me talking can get a little bit redundant. And, who wants to hear that? I came on here not because I just wanted to hear myself talk, because I wanted to engage with you guys. And so a lot of times, a lot of the UK guys and things like that, I'm working during that time, just like you're probably working if you're in the US. So I wanted something for us. I wanted something in our prime time. I wanted something that benefited me. So you know what, when you see a hole, you try to fill it. And so I saw an alley, so I decided to run through it, and I arrived here at the Ghost of Highbury. So like I said, tap in, let me know. Do me a favor if you're watching. Happy, I see you. Do me a favor and let me know where you're coming from. That's it. That's all I want to know. Where you're coming from, and what you think about our club. If you want, you can tap in about the press conference that we're getting ready to go down with. So we'll talk about the press conference. What else happened today? Oh yeah, Tamiyasu got his green card. That's one of the things that he mentioned in the press conference. That well, I guess he hasn't even met him, which is wild, but okay. So hopefully that means if he works out, that means whatever sort of, because I remember they let go of their scouting department, a lot of them, during the height of the pandemic. So hopefully that means whoever's eyeballing these guys, they know what they're doing, right? Because if you haven't, and I don't expect him to meet everybody prior. I know that's probably not the way. This isn't FIFA where we, you sit down and have dinner with everybody, all that sort of stuff. You can, this is the age of technology. You can get deals done, via computer. So he said he hadn't met him, but since then pictures have come out. He's done his, his pull the jersey shirt, pull the jersey shot, I should say. And, he looks like a big guy. So I'm hoping, he looks fast on the feet. He doesn't look like a speedster, but I don't think he's going to get burned by too many people either. And so, but he does look big. So I'm impressed. He looks older than what he is. He looks closer to 30 than closer to 20. And so he just looks like a strong, sturdy kid. So hopefully that translates into him getting acclimated quickly to the Premier League and, us shoring up our back line. So without further ado, let me give a shout to Football London, because that's where I'm getting this from, the actual transcript. I looked at Arsenal.com, and sometimes they do the every word thing. They usually do that after games. They don't usually do the kind of the pre, like right before a game. They do it after the game. They'll do that, like, hear every word Mikel says. They'll do that type of thing. But and then some quick housekeeping. So tomorrow, I'll probably do the stream tomorrow, because I'll do my lineups and stuff like that. That'll probably be a little bit early because it's Friday. And I'm just, usually Fridays are a family day for me. And so I'll do the lineups and stuff a little bit earlier, probably around 1:00. If I don't have anything going on, like you, I'm unfortunately, I'm not a full-time streamer yet. So I still have to work. So probably around 2 o'clock, I will do another stream and talk about the lineup that I'm selecting, now that I know that Tomiyasu's back and has his green card. I know that doesn't necessarily mean he starts, but we got to take some other things into account. And then also, I am doing a live stream during the Norwich game, so we will. They're in the red zone, running back, charges, runs, gets to the Tampa Bay rushes and gets to like the 2.5-yard line. So 2nd and goal. So and then I will do it. Like I said, I'll do a live stream during the game. So we'll tap in during that. And then so that's the schedule for the next few live streams. So about 1-2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here in the US, I will do a lineup stream and talk about who I want to see. I might get some people to tap in with me, hopefully, God willing. And then Saturday we'll do the live stream during the game against Norwich. So without further ado, let's talk press conference. I know a lot of people give him crap. Let me grab a water. I know a lot of people give him crap about his press conferences. And I don't know. I haven't been that fan. I haven't been a fan long enough to know the history of all the coaches that have ever been, and famous coaches all around the world and stuff like that. But I don't know a lot of coaches who just stand up and tell the truth. And I don't mean some of them do blatantly lie, and they're lying because they're not going to give you any pertinent information. But at the same time, I think a good journalist should at least attempt to ask. I don't want to say like you should, when you should attempt to ask some hard-hitting questions. Okay. If they choose not to answer, let that be on them. And I think that's the kind of issue, like as I was reading through this, some of the questions I was hearing was just like, why, what? Why are you asking that? Like, we're bottom of the league. What are you doing? And so, so we're going to go through. Let me pull this up. So, Pete, big shout to Football London. This is where I'm getting this from because Arsenal.com didn't have, like I said, didn't have everything. And so, of course, this is important. Who is back and fully fit again? We haven't trained yet, so we're still waiting for a few players back. As far as I know, almost everybody will be available. That's good. Okay, that's good. We need everybody, right? And particularly, we need Ben White back. We need Thomas Partey back, and we need Gabriel back, particularly. Okay, Saka didn't play during the last game at the in the England squad, so he should be okay. Besides maybe some jet lag or something like that, but I see him probably being okay. I don't know if he'll start, but then again, Emil Smith Rowe's sick, and like I tweeted earlier, like we are like ground zero for like these illnesses. It seems like we got the flu and COVID running around in our training ground, in our locker rooms and something like that. I'm like, can you guys get like the bleach and get to town? Some vinegar and water? Like, I don't get something. Because like, first Pepe now, they've made it a point to say it's not COVID. So I'm going to, this is the second person. I'm going to take their word for that. But like, I haven't heard of anyone having the flu. Okay, and it seems a little early in the year to be having the flu, but whatever. Their climate over there is a little bit different. So yeah, but like now this is two players. Pepe seems to have recovered, but then he probably passed it to the mill. So yeah, I mean this is wild. I haven't heard, and to be fair, I don't keep up with a lot of other teams' players and things like that, but I haven't heard of any other teams talking about people going down with the flu or with sickness, whatever that is. Okay. What is this, like high school? They get like mono or something? Like, what's going on here? I just, if it is what it is, I just don't understand. Anywho, we move. So we need everybody back. Is Sead Kolasinac okay for this game? Again, they will assess him in the afternoon and see if he's fit or not. He's one of the doubts we have. Again, I think that he has to say that, right? But this is one of those things where I start to think, like, why are you asking him about Sead Kolasinac? Like you get, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 questions to ask per reporter. I don't know how it goes. Do you go like do you go around or something? But of all things to ask, Mikel Arteta, manager of Arsenal Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, 20th place in the Premier League, -9 goal differential. We scored 0 goals in 3 games. Okay? All of our goals have come in undercover sneaky games and cup games. Okay? The women are banging goals in left and right. Vivian Miedema, I mean, 100 goals in 100 games, in like 100 and I gotta look it up. Like something like 110 games, she has 100 goals. Hat trick today. They're scoring for fun over there on the women's side. And meanwhile, our reporters are asking, hey, how about Sead Kolasinac? How's he doing? Is he going to be okay? Even though he started the last international game, right? So obviously he's fine. And you know this because you're a reporter at Arsenal. So it's your job to know. And you step in there and say, hey, what about Sead Kolasinac? Do me a favor, fam. Chill on that. If you're not going to ask good questions, then why? How is Granit Xhaka doing after contracting COVID-19? He's doing well. He's still in his country. He needs to stay there until Saturday, I believe. As soon as he's okay to travel, he'll be there with us. Okay. Despite my feelings on Granit Xhaka, I don't necessarily mind this question, right? However, even if he didn't have COVID, he wouldn't play. He's not playing for 3 games. Uh-oh, what happened? I think I lost. Did I lose that? For some reason, that lost. Hold on. Let me see if I can refresh that. Yeah, there we go. Give me a second. Let me pull that back up. That was weird. I lost the page. Yeah, so let me just, where was I? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, but why are you, he wouldn't be here. He got a straight red. So for 3 games, he's not going to be here. So who cares? I mean, I get like asking if he's okay. So I don't necessarily have a problem with you asking if he's okay. But it's like you're just having a conversation with him. You're not necessarily having a press conference to see how ready we are for. I mean, it shouldn't be a huge game, but for us, it's a big game because we haven't won one and we're bottom of the league. And you're asking him, hey, how are 2 players who we don't even want to play? How confident are you when you have a fully fit squad that fans will see an upturn in results? And he says, I'm really looking forward to having everybody available and try to start the season the way we want. Well, obviously, to try and start the season, this season's already started. What do you mean, bro? We don't want to use any excuses, but insert excuse. We know how difficult the start was with injuries and COVID issues and extremely difficult games we had to play. We have to reset now, get everybody back on track, and start winning games, which is what we have to do. I would hope so, because that's sort of your job, bro. It's wild. He goes, I mean, it's just wild. He says, we don't want to use any excuses. Usually when somebody says something like that, they're preparing to do the thing that they just didn't, say, they're preparing to do the thing that they said they shouldn't do. Like when somebody's talking, well, I don't want to make any excuses about why I was late, but you can understand my car broke down and didn't have gas. I lost my keys and somebody tried to carjack me on the way here. No, you weren't good enough. And again, we if we're keeping it 100, I thought we could have at least drew Chelsea, Man City. I mean, they were missing a few players, but they didn't even try. That's the thing. We should have made them try. In Brentford, we weren't. The thing is, why weren't we ready? So if you say that to me at this point, if I ask you, how confident are you when you get everyone back, which is not everybody has anybody back. Man City didn't have Kevin De Bruyne, and they didn't make it seem like, oh, well, once you get, like, are you going to start winning once you get Kevin De Bruyne back? No, the players are expected to go out there and compete and win. And so no, I don't want to hear this about these players. This is Arsenal Football Club. Okay? So as soon as you say that, I'm like, well, what do you mean? That should have been an immediate rebuttal. Excuse me. So why weren't they ready? Why haven't they been able to compete yet? What is preseason for? You didn't go anywhere. You went up north for a few miles. That's it. You didn't go anywhere, like sort of like you didn't leave the continent. You didn't leave the island. You say don't, you don't want to make excuses, but that sounds like an excuse to me one time. Does it feel like a must-win this game? Must-win game this weekend. It is always at Arsenal. The pressure is always there to be as high as possible in the league table. We need the first win. We're going to play in front of our fans after that disappointing start. It's down to us to provide everything we have to performance-wise to get the result we need in the end. Who are we playing? We're playing Norwich. They're down there with us, hanging out in the cellar, hanging out in the dungeon. The pressure is always, do you understand? Because sometimes the things that you do don't make me think that you understand that you're an Arsenal Football Club. Some decisions that you make as a manager and as the management staff above you or who works in tandem with you, the decisions that you do, if you understood that the pressure is always there to be as high as possible in the league table, why didn't you buy any elite players? Because that's who provides you the opportunity to be as high as possible in the league table. So when you wonder why people are questioning you and some people want you to be relieved of your responsibilities, that's why. Because in one side of your mouth, you say the pressure is always there to be as high as possible in the league table. So if you understand that, why are you trying to get higher results with the same players? Why didn't you do everything that you possibly could have to get rid of the players who have demonstrated for the past, let's just say in the short term, 3 years, that they can't move up the table? The only thing they can do is move down it. And you thought by starting at the bottom and working your way up was the wave. And it was not. It was probably a mix of those. But you needed one or two big-time starters to come in and put some of these guys who have been starting here on the bench and say, you know what, that's not your spot anymore. So either you get comfortable riding the pine or find yourself somewhere else to play. Because you don't fit the standard. You don't understand that the pressure is always there to be as high as possible in the league table. You need to explain that to the players, and you didn't. With all due respect, Sambi Lakanga is not going to be able to take us as high as possible in the league table. Nuno Tavares is not going to get us as high as possible in the league table. Ben White at 23 years old is not going to be there to take us as high as possible in the league table. It's like, sometimes I just don't understand. Let's see. Let's continue. What do you make of the team Norwich have assembled? First of all, what they've been doing over the years, how consistent they've been with the manager and the style of play. They've been up and down, but haven't changed much. It's a team that's a joy to watch, the way they want to play, the risk they take, and how attacking they are. I don't know what they will do against us, but so far, what I've seen against the top sides, it's been good, even though the results have not been good. That's okay. So what they've been doing over the years is being a yo-yo team. Let me put you up on game. They've been a yo-yo team. They have come up and gone down, and come up and gone down, and come up and gone down. They've gotten a few players, and they've had to sell them because they go back down. Okay, maybe some of those players have contracts that say if they go up, they get a rise, but if they go down, they can get an out because the team won't be able to afford them. Right? They've kept the same manager. Okay. Somebody wants a job. Okay. Keeping the same manager is not like something to be applauded. If you're every time you go up, you go right back down. That's not something to be like, oh, great. Because I guarantee if you go down from 8th, you won't be here. I mean, you lose this game, you might not be here. So yeah, I mean, their style of play. I mean, them playing. I watched them play a few times, and I watch a lot of games. I watch a lot of games at the beginning of the season because I'm excited. So I watch a lot of the games. Just like everybody, you might not be a Cowboys or a or Tampa Bay fan, but football's on, and you're a football fan, so you're watching a game with your friends and stuff, right? They do play well. They do attack well. They don't score any goals. And they have some decent players, but they sold their best player. My man who just got, get banned from Brazil, Emi Buendia. They sold him to Villa, but but yeah, so they sell their best players because they're kind of like a seller team, and seller meaning like the basement. And they have to, somebody comes in for big money for one of their players every now and then. That helps keep their team afloat. But they do play offensive football. They do go after it. They don't just sit back. They're a little bit like Brentford and Leeds. They go for it. Not as much as Leeds. Nobody goes for it as much as Leeds, no matter what. But they do go for it. And so they've just been lucky. Like some shots have just been missed, or like amazing saves by the keeper, or hit the crossbar, the post, and things like that. They have been lucky. If we get peppered with shots, I'm not gonna be excited about that, because hopefully Leno's on his game if he starts. But if he does one of those things where he, hits the ball right up into the net or something like that, we're gonna be in trouble, right? And so we'll talk about our starting lineup tomorrow, but I'm going to go ambitious. And so I'm going to show you what I would love to see, and then I will show you what he probably will do, which is super, super conservative. How important is a good performance from Arsenal this weekend as much as the result? I just want to focus on that because the performance will bring to the result. Everybody's going to talk about winning, but you have to earn the right to do that. Unfortunately, the past few games, we've done basic things that haven't allowed us to compete in games the way we want. So if we do those things right, we'll be much closer to winning football matches. It will bring momentum and things will change. And that's just the thing. And that's what, again, this is why people are so upset with you. Because it's not just this year. It's not just this year. It's not just last year. It wasn't just the year before. A lot of these players, and we have turned over a lot. Okay, we have turned over a lot. But that just goes to show you that we're just, and we, I'm not gonna, go back, but that just goes to show you we've just bought badly. You have to keep turning over a lot. Nobody wants to do that. Every club probably hopes when they buy a player, they're going to keep them for 5, 6, 7 years, right? And then somebody wants to come in for them, and they want to offer big money. Okay, what can you do, right? And they want to move. Okay, nobody every 2, 3 years wants to say, "Oh God, why did I buy this guy?" Nobody wants to do that. But I showed you guys, right? And I'll put up here. I'll put the card up here after the after I go back in after the stream ends. I'll put a card in here to back where 2 streams ago where we went through all of the transfers since like 15, 16. All the people that we lose, all the people that we buy, all the millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that we spend on terrible players. Right? So how do you expect to get the performances that would, as you say, earn you the right to win when you won't even bring in players who are capable of doing that? Now, I'm not saying in the future some of the players that you bought in might be able to do that, but we're talking about right now, player. Okay, we need some people who can help us win today. And if you don't do that, then what are you talking about on this press conference? Right? You could be absolutely right. You need players who can produce a performance that gives you the right to win a football match. But you're going to trust this to kids? Where does that work? It doesn't work anywhere. You think Tom Brady, as good as Tom Brady is, right, would take a team of rookies and they would make it to the playoffs? Absolutely not. So why do you think you would do that here? Oh, well, they're young, but they've been playing. Not in the Premier League? One of them. One season. Saka has played more than Ben White has in the Premier League. Maitland-Niles has played more than Ben White in the Premier League. But he's supposed to be like the glue. Not, if he is, then wow. And that just means he's, over exceeding his expectations. Gabriel has one season in the Premier League. How are these guys supposed to, and they didn't come from like championship winning clubs. But they're supposed to be the people who put in the performances that give us an opportunity to win. I just don't see it. It was a good international. It was a good international to regroup and get some players back. Yes, I think we needed a break to try to get them back. They've been missing for long periods. Hopefully by Saturday, we'll have a different team. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Because again, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. I don't think we will see. I don't think we will see. I think we'll still see some of the same players, despite having people back from international break and the break that we needed. Edo's been speaking about the transfer policy over the break. You've got players that have been brought for the future. Does that help you right here, right now? Excellent question. This is the first question that I've read that actually is like, what are you doing, bro? Okay. I don't question the fact that he bought them. I question the fact that that's all they bought. You feel me? yes, we've tried to explain the project. Oh, Lord. And decisions that have been made over the last few months in the transfer window, the amount of changes that are happening in almost 2 years is almost 30 players. Here we go. You just said you didn't want to make excuses, but you put an excuse. Edu tried to explain it, and like I tried to explain it. We've all participated to create this project, led by the owners and the hierarchy at the football club. It is a project that we believe in, that we have to assemble. I mean, that we have to assemble because it was the option that we believed is the best for the future of the football club. We all take responsibility because we are all involved in the decision. Now we have to make it work. The complexity in football club is that you want to build a medium to long-term project with immediate results. We have to embrace that because that's not any other way in football. You're going to have to ask results, and we're ready to do that. Okay, somebody, I mean, I don't know if they're just taking him at his, kind of, second language English, or they just, got a lot of typos in there. Okay, so again, so we understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to build a project, right? But you have to win now. So how does that jive with what you actually did? I understand what you're saying, and again, I say this all the time. I don't care about what you say. What people say is sort of irrelevant most times, right? Let me judge you on what you do. And what you did was you said that you want to build a medium to long-term future, but you mean immediate results. How are you going to achieve immediate results? You should have bought people for immediate results and then got a few players for the future. Right? That's what you should have done. You should have bought a couple 27-year-old, 26-year-olds, right? Who've been playing at top clubs in their prime and said, "Hey, we need to get back into the Champions League this year." And then get some of the dead wood out and bring younger players in like you did to learn up under bosses. Right? Not this way. Because if you don't like the people that are in the team now and then you bring younger players in, all they're going to do is make them not like you. If you're worried about the kind of the temperature in the dressing room, and there's been some rumors and some reports about the dressing room having a lot of problems and this and that. And I don't know. I don't necessarily know if that's true or not. Right? Just because everything that comes out doesn't make it, just because you publish it doesn't make it true. Right? But if that's the truth, then why didn't you get those players out? You just said, "Oh, it's been 30 players." How many players are creating turmoil? Like what's going on? So something's, I mean, I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, it could be, I've seen people say, "Well, we can't attract the ballers, because the ballers want to play in Europe, even if it's just Europa League. They want to play in Europe because they see that as a way to get in the Champions League, even if you can't get in the Champions League directly." Okay. But I mean, that's a valid point, right? But there's things you can do. There's players you can bring in. This is Arsenal Football Club, man. Come on. Let's move. Ainsley Maitland-Niles wanted to go before the deadline. How has he reacted to that? Oh, almost an interception by the Cowboys. Any private conversations with players, what we believe the role that they can have in the team is always discussed openly, but privately. What? Okay. That's always the way we resolve matters, and that's the way that one was resolved. I'm happy that he stays. It was our intention, and he's another player in the squad. No follow up on that. No, like, yo, he posted. You were obviously pissed. The reports came out that said y'all talked more about him posting than about his actual future. You keep talking about you want him in a team, but you don't play him. If we don't understand it, how would you expect the player to? Were you personally offended by what he said? Right? Because I understand there's some people, oh, it's not professional, right? And this and that. Okay, number one, climb down. Okay, I understand you're on your horse. Dismount, please. Chill. The brother wants to play, right? Now, I understand not selling him because nobody came in for a suitable offer and he's worth some money. I get that, right? And then if you would have said that, I would respect that. But don't try to act like, oh, well, we're not going to discuss it. But what are you going to do with him? Because it's clear you could, if you think that he's so much of your plans, then why don't you play him? Why do you keep playing Cedric? Why did you even buy Cedric? Right? Why do you keep playing El Nini if he's better in the midfield? I mean, it's just weird to me. Then let's see, Tomiyasu. Is Tomiyasu going to be ready for the Norwich game? We'll need a work permit first, which I talked about earlier. He went ahead and he got his work permit. The club is trying to achieve that next couple hours. He's back in the country now. I will meet him for the first time today, probably, and train with him. See how he is. Get a feel for it. He's been playing, so he should be completely fit. That's good to hear. All right, we've been impressed, and that's the reason we decided to sign him. Hopefully, he tomorrow when us in the US wake up, they have like a training video, with Tomiyasu in it, and we get some sort of glimpse as to what they're gonna do. Hopefully it's before I do my video. Before I do my live stream, so I can, if he's looking, and I'm just excited to see him play, because hopefully he's played in the top division in a big league. So hopefully, he is ready to go. Is Mourinho right about encouraging players to get vaccinated? Is that what you should be asking? Seriously, that's not what you wanted to ask was, how do you feel about Mourinho keep sticking his beak into Arsenal business? Everybody's free to post what they want to whom, right? But it's obvious what he's doing. He's borderline tampering, right? It's what he did all, during the summer. And our guy was lapping it up. We are trying to explain all the reasons why we believe it is the right thing to do. How much it will protect, first of all, the club, second of all, the teammates and the environment they're around. The exposure around if they don't do it. And the end, it's really a personal thing. Obviously, they will be limited in certain aspects if they don't, because we don't want to expose ourselves in certain things. In the end, it's a personal matter, not an obligation, and we have to respect that. Well, he's already gotten it now, so you don't have to worry about it. Right? He'll get over it. He's an extremely healthy man. Hopefully he'll shake it off. He doesn't have any lasting effects, and there'll be one less person to worry about. But I just think, why are you asking him about this? Okay. They're, they having some sort of love affair or something like that. And that's what they wanted to ask you about. Do you spend your time, Mikel Arteta? You have social media accounts. Do you spend your time talking about players that you want to buy? Do you spend your time talking to them online, giving them medical advice? That's what you should be asking. Come on, you guys, do better. You have a great privilege, right? And if it's, if it's something where, okay, we have to screen your questions, then that should be known publicly, that Arsenal only lets you ask questions that are pre-screened first, because we don't want to put too much pressure on the manager. How's Ramsdale doing? And have you thought about a change of goalkeeper for this game? He's doing really good. He's a big competitor, someone who is really pushing in the training sessions. We knew that when we made the recruitment process with the team. Now we have two very different goalkeepers, two different age qualities, but both really good. That's what we should be aiming for. Hopefully he keeps it up. That's all I can say. Hopefully he pushes him so hard that he wants to leave. Or it pushes him and he says, "Wow, this guy's really, really good. I got to play even better." Right? I need to look at film and I need to identify my weaknesses and I need to step up, because if I don't, this guy's clipping my heels and he's going to take my job. Either one of those situations would work out good for me. I want the best man to win, but overall, I want that person to elevate the elevate the play on the field. And if bringing Ramsdale in makes Leno a better goalkeeper, I'm all for it, because he does have good qualities, right? But if not, and he can't, and Ramsdale takes the spot and do well, I'm all for that too. What can you promise the Arsenal fans on Saturday? That's a loaded question. Obviously, it's nowhere near where we want to be. That's for sure. It needs to be a little bit of perspective of what happened. Oh my gosh, man. Everybody's disappointed. Everybody related to the club should be disappointed. But we are so determined and willing to change it as quick as possible. We are on it. Again, you keep talking about future, Project 23, this and that. 30 players in. 30 players changed and blah, 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 blah. That's not, none of that says quick to me. Quick to me would have said, okay, we need a center back, a right back, and a central midfielder. Actually, two central midfielders, one in the middle and one attacking. So we needed 4 players. And you obviously had some money. Buy those players. That says you should be willing to change as quick as possible. We are on it. I would have believed that. According, not what you said, what you do makes me say, no, I don't believe that. How different does the squad feel from 12 months ago? Oh, here we go. A completely different squad. You can tell it's unheard of. He says that a lot. Like no one like kicks players out or transfers players and gets new players in. I mean, I could have sworn when you were assistant manager at Man City when Pep came, that's basically what he started doing. Players weren't good enough. He got them out and spent a tremendous amount of money getting players in. It's a completely different squad. You can tell it's unheard of. Now we have to make it work. We have the tools that we believe it is going to give us the best opportunity to compete the way we want to compete in this project. Now we have to make it work. We need to build relationships, chemistry, and understanding. And we have to do that quickly. I mean, yeah. I just don't see with like bringing in any leaders. I mean, Lokonga is the captain of was the captain of Anderlecht, right? But he just got his first international cap, right? I think the leader, the person who's been leading is probably Odegaard. Now let's see if he can bring that sort of leadership and captain, and he's the captain of his international team, and and he balled out. He balled out during the internationals, so hopefully he can bring some of that kind of tiger blood to our team, because we definitely need it, and we especially need it in the middle of the field. What makes you feel that Tomiyasu is the right fit? Tommy has the capacity to play at any position in the back four. He's done it at all across the back four and the back three as well. He gives us that versatility, gives us different qualities in the right back position. We've been following him for a long time, and he gives us different qualities that we don't have in the squad. So are you trying to say that what you were missing this whole time is versatility? I just thought you needed a right back who could actually defend, right? And who could actually put a cross in if needed. That's what I thought you needed. I could be wrong in this, but that's what I thought that was what was required. You needed a center back who didn't come crashing into people getting reckless red cards every 3 or 4 games, right? And who can progress and not be afraid and turn the ball over and pass backwards when the press comes. I thought that's what you needed. But you need so what you're saying is you needed all of them in one person? So every person who's a defender needs to be able to do all of that? You still with me? Yeah. Okay, we good. Yeah, that's what are you talking about? We'll see where he plays. And I'm gonna give that um I'm gonna give that a couple games. Because who knows? Who knows? Okay. Where are you considering Maitland Niles to play? Decent question. The response after having our private conversation to explain and put on the table our feelings that we have to do or decide something different when we let him go to West Brom. He has embraced the opportunity. He knows he has a unique quality in any squad, which is his versatility. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Right? He was the best right back amongst the right backs, right? In midfield, he was okay. Okay, we know from reports that he came in this year saying he wanted to play right back, and you didn't play him. So then he got pissed and wanted to leave because he wants to play. He got picked for England as a right back. Then you didn't play him. Then he wanted to leave because he thought he could make the Euros, and you sent him to West Brom, and they played him as a midfielder. He did okay, but he's never going to get picked as a midfielder in England. So wild. I mean, I don't. Okay, I let this whole segment off talking about um talking about how that site just keeps messing up. I don't understand why. Talking about how um that threw me off. About how you just don't know what you're talking about. Let me see if I can find my space again, and then I will share my screen. Let me go back. Just give me a second, guys. All right. I don't know why that keeps dying. Maybe it's something because I'm on that site for so long, or I have no idea. Oh, that's not what I want to do. How much time I got? I really got a few minutes left. Yeah. So I just the whole Maitland Niles thing. You say one thing, but you're doing something different, and I just don't understand it. Do you feel that you're close to being able to find your preferred 12? Field your preferred 12? Me 11. I hope so. Obviously, we're getting players back from injuries, COVID, and suspensions. When we able to do that, we'll try to do that. At least you just said try. I don't like all the COVID injuries. Everybody deals with that. It's not just us. We get judged every day with our work, every result that we have. So does everybody else. We don't want to use an excuse, but you're getting ready to. But looking back at what happened in the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been a lot. Hopefully, we can change it pretty quickly. I would prefer you just say, when the next game comes, we're going to try our best. No excuses. Because you keep saying, I don't want to use an excuse, but looking back at what happened, it was really, really hard. With Reece Nelson, do you feel like young British players gain more benefit from potentially going abroad than staying in England? Great question. I don't care. My personal feeling is, I don't care where you go, just go. Because the under 23s to me seems like I want to see them because I just want to see our players play. But some of them stand out like a sore thumb. And for those kids, when they get to, I don't know, when they get to a certain, and I'm glad Aziz left, when they get to a certain level, they need to go out on loan and play week in, week out with some men. Playing with under 23s up until you're like 23 years old, and then all of a sudden not understanding why you're not ready to play for Arsenal it's a futile situation. They should be going out on loan, playing with men. I'm so happy Reece went. I'm so happy Aziz went, right? And people have been gassing up Charlie Patino, and I heard he's like, like he's the next big thing. Well, if he keeps doing good, then I mean, let's just say he just keeps bossing it. Send the kid out on loan. Let him go play. Let him experience how it is to travel the world, be with a group of guys that he doesn't know, and expect to deliver week in and week out. So if he is that person, when he finally does get his chance on the big stage, it's not such a big deal to him. When you've been playing in your own backyard and in training grounds for sort of all of your kind of short adult life, and then all of a sudden you get to play in front of like 50,000 fans and it's too big for you, then you wonder why. Send them out on loan. That's what we're hoping for. I think it's a club that's going to suit him really good, a manager that really rates him and believes that his qualities can fit in the model he wants. He's going to have the time to show and play and be. It's going to be it's been a difficult year for him. It's been a difficult year for him because you play Willian over him. He has an enormous quality and needs to show it. He's at the right age because you played him. You played Willian instead of him, and you stuck him in the under 23s. And every game that they showed that we were able to see, I watched that he played, and he stuck out like a sore thumb. Now, I don't know if that's down to him, okay? And I'm not putting all this on Arteta, but the club as a community should be preparing these kids to say, hey, once you get to a certain level, playing in under 23 shouldn't be it. You shouldn't be trying to win the under 23 championship or whatever it is they do, right? The Premier League 2. You shouldn't be trying to win that. You should be trying to go to a club to be an established starter, playing week in, week out, because that club needs you to perform, and you need that pressure. Running out of time here, so I'm going to find good questions only. Now, is it now a case of no excuses? You've got to rise up the table. I mean, this whole thing, he's been said, I don't want to make excuses. So why are you even asking that? Do you feel like you're over your bad patch now? Has Leno made training after the German flight was delayed? We're training later just to prevent all those things happening because we've had some issues in the past. Hopefully we return on time. Who cares? Will Ramsdale start? Bellerin has been at Arsenal a long time. What are your reaction to him leaving? It's been a long time. It's been a really important part of everything that's happened to the club in the last 10 years. That's not something that I would want to attach to myself, right? I do respect Bellerin. I think he's a good person. I just think that because of injuries and things like that happen to professional athletes at the highest level, sometimes injuries cut your career kind of in half or reduce your abilities. And I just think he's an example of that. We're seeing that with kind of Jack Wilshere, amazing player, right? Great skills and stuff, but injuries kind of derailed his career. And I think Bellerin, while I think that he's recovered from it and can still play football, I think that at the level that Arsenal Football Club should demand, I don't think he quite fits that mold anymore. So yeah, he basically pours his heart out, and he's like, I didn't really want to let him go, but we had to respect what he wanted, which was to do another challenge. Probably was getting tired of people on social media and the media and stuff kind of berating him and stuff like that. So yeah. Ben White and Gabriel are fit for the first time. Are they your ideal first choice for center back? Great question. They are one of the options. Fam, are they any other questions? I mean, are there any other pairings? Did you buy somebody else that we didn't know about? I ain't gonna whatever. Is Partey's partnership with Lukonga something that we could be seeing? Depending on there's no one else. El Nini's hurt. Shaka's out. Maitland-Niles? Maybe. Okay. We'll see. How's Emil Smith-Rowe when he's sick? How's Flo Balogun? He made his debut against Brentford. He played the following game against Chelsea as well. It's been a big, big step for him in the last few months. He had a preseason with us, so he's already done a lot with us in a few months. Not quite ready to be involved regularly then. He's another player in the squad as a fight for his place. Flo Balogun should never start a game for Arsenal Football Club this entire year. right? It's not a slight against him. He's just not ready. He's another player who should go out on loan and bang goals for a lesser club. And then he ends talking about Jack. Our doors are always open, which is amazing. I'd love to see him come and train and be around the guys and, just be a morale booster to the club. And hopefully he can, he's just like 28. Hopefully he can land somewhere and play a few more years. So that's about it for the press conference. Again, a few head scratchers, a lot of excuse making when he's trying not to make excuses, but we move. Hopefully, I don't know if we're going to play three at the back, and we played it in that secret squirrel game against Brentford. But hopefully, whatever we do it well. That's all I can say. I don't know if we're playing 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 3-5-2. I don't know what we're doing. But hopefully, whatever it is that we decide to do, we do it at a high level, and it results in not only a win, which is I think that we'll probably squeak one out. I hope we get a performance. I hope we're proud. I hope when, after that game, when we have another discussion after that game, it'll be like, wow, that's what I want to see. Now let's keep that going with no injuries. But with our team, we're always good for one or two. So that's it. I'm out of here. Like I said, I'll be back. I'm gonna get some rest. I'm gonna be back here around 1-2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will talk about lineups. And hopefully, we'll get to see some Tamayasu footage and training. Hopefully, no one gets injured between now and Saturday. Everybody comes back. Leno gets back safe, keeps fighting for his place, and all that good stuff. So. I'm Anton Keith. This is the Ghost of Highbury. Do me a favor. Right here is where I am on Twitter at Highbury Ghost US. Do me a favor. If you have a Twitter account, tap in with me. Follow. I follow all Gooners back. If you're on YouTube and this is where you're watching, do me a favor, like and subscribe. I would sincerely appreciate it. And leave me a comment and let me know where you're from. Either watching this live or if you're watching it back on replay. Leave me a comment. I appreciate it. Let me know what I can do better. If you don't like this stuff or you want to talk, if my screen's not clear enough, too bright, whatever, let me know. And, let's talk about it. But I would really like to talk about Arsenal. So, yeah. And if you're on Twitch, I'm still figuring out Twitch. And I'm on it just and thank you. I've actually had more people watching on Twitch than on YouTube. People on YouTube usually watch after. People on Twitch usually watch during. So thank you so much to all the people who watch me on Twitch. And please subscribe to the channel. I sincerely appreciate it. And I would love to tap in with you. So with that being said, I'm getting out of here. It's been real. It was fun. That I try not to get too fired up, but I kind of did. So I'm sorry. So we won't talk about that until we won't get fired up again until probably after the game. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'd be excited and we'll do the live stream. We'll enjoy that. So thank you so much for everybody who supports the channel. I sincerely appreciate it. And I will see you on the next stream. Peace.